When you see the San Francisco skyline, there's a building that sticks out, not only because it's the tallest west of the Mississippi, but also for its architecture. The one behind it, a Latino, Cesar Pelli. This was his dream, a 61-story high dream. Cesar Pelli is known as one of the greatest architects of the 20th century, but to Rafael Pelli, he was simply Papa.
I loved working with my father. I was lucky.
Rafael got a front row seat to his dad's story and legacy, feeling inspired by him at an early age.
I was overexposed to it as a child. I loved to draw. I loved to make things. I would make models. The other thing I would say I learned from both of my parents. My mother was a landscape architect, very successful landscape architect, designer. And from both of them, one thing I learned early on was to think for myself.
Rafael treasures every story his dad shared with him and his brother, especially the ones about growing up in San Miguel de Tucumán, Argentina, and the moment he first considered architecture.
He was looking at a catalog from the university of all the different fields, and he was interested in philosophy, actually. But he chose architecture because in the catalog it said it combined art, history, drawing, and mathematics. And he thought, well, those are all things I like to do and I'm good at. I think that could be fun.
In the 50s, Cesar was granted a scholarship to complete his master's degree in architecture in the U.S., a move that would change his life and later on, skylines throughout the world.
My father was in his early 20s, my mother was late teens, and my mother was just pregnant. They came on a one-year scholarship to the University of Illinois and decided to risk this big adventure.
Taking their two sons back to Argentina to connect to their roots was key to the Pelli family.
And I would bounce between all of my relatives. All of my relatives lived in Argentina. Cousins, uncles, aunts, grandparents. Se comía muchísima carne, que ya no puedo, pero...
Moments full of joy and culture that Rafael says shaped him.
Just a combined heritage of my ability to grow up in the U.S. and take everything that I was exposed to here, which is this wonderful upbringing and opportunities, but also with the richness of the heritage from Argentina. It was really a gift.
Cesar carried that culture with him throughout his life, going on to be named one of the 10 most influential living American architects by the American Institute of Architects, and designing some of the world's most iconic buildings, among them the Petronas Towers in Malaysia, the International Finance Center in Hong Kong, the World Financial Center in New York City, and the Salesforce Tower in San Francisco. To truly grasp Pelli's vision, we had to come to the top. Here, you can see the entire city, and that was key behind this construction. Over 2 million man-hours and 12,000 tons of steel. A model of the Salesforce Tower stands tall at their firm.
The Salesforce Tower was a very special project for my father, and he loved doing it. And I would say he never thought of it as just designing a tower. He always thought these are two buildings that come together as a package. It was the Salesforce Tower, but it was also the Salesforce Transportation Center. And so it really exemplifies a lot of his belief in cities, is that you create beautiful buildings which are tuned to their use, but you also create public space.
As a senior partner at Pelli Clark and Partners, Rafael worked along his dad on other projects that changed the way people experienced buildings.
He really wanted to kind of bring back the romance of tall buildings and skyscrapers and how the buildings meet the sky. My father would love to say, he didn't want to see pictures of his buildings with no people in it. He said, it's the people that make it work. It's the people that give it life.
But he says what truly touched him was to see the lives his dad changed and the people he empowered.
We've had, oh my gosh, easily more than 30 people who've gone off to start their own firms afterwards, with this as sort of a launching pad of kind of being taught and being allowed to grow under Cesar's watch.
Every lesson a treasure he holds on to, becoming a recognized architect himself with his own take and focus on sustainable designs across the world in countries like India, Brazil, and throughout the U.S.
Nothing like that experience of walking up to a building that you've designed, and also for me to walk up to a building that my father's designed.
Now, a son, building his own legacy while staying connected to his roots and looking up to see Papa in each design.
I see a project of his as also a way for me to connect with him across time.
Luz Peña, ABC7 News.
That is great.
What amazing legacy, all of those incredible buildings around the world.